Mellow Mike says, you need to put some respect on the Texans. And FYI, Gardner is not a depth piece. He was a starter on the Super Bowl team, and he now won a slot next to Bullock, elite defense bro. The Texans had a top 10 defense in 2024. The signing of Danielle Hunter was game-changing for the Houston Texans in 2024. Many people forgot that they signed Danielle Hunter in 2024. Danielle Hunter was a steal of that offseason. Danielle Hunter is a player that you can watch tape, you can watch film, and he doesn't really jump off at you, doesn't really make those big flashy plays, but he does what he is supposed to do. And when you look at the stats, you're like, oh shit, that kid had like 3 sacks, nine tackles, a forced fumble. Like, Danielle Hunter goes out there and does his work. He is definitely a top 5 defensive end in the NFL. And honestly, if he had a little bit more name notoriety around him, he could probably be top 3, top 2. He is that damn good. Now, the Houston Texans defense as a whole was grungy. It was nasty. However, C.J. Garner-Johnson is just a depth add. C.J. Garner-Johnson is just a piece to the puzzle. C.J. Garner-Johnson is just a player that is going to be a backup, might be a nickel piece. If he slides into the starting role, he's definitely going to get rotated out a lot because the Texas defense is pretty set. The Texas defense is nasty. It is grungy, and they're going to upset a lot of people just strictly by their defense alone. Now, to put some respect on the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans' schedule in 2023 was very, very favorable. That is why they ultimately ended up winning the division, because they had a very favorable schedule. And of course, it dropped past by the Indianapolis Colts tailback at the time. Was it Pierce? I think it dropped it. But whatever. 2024 was a little bit of a reality check. Competition got a little bit stiffer, and the Houston Texans didn't really step up to their calling on the offensive side. Defense was still great. Defense was still elite. You could definitely bank on that defense. Not a lot of the times there, but the beginning of the end for the Houston Texans was when were they leading at halftime to the Detroit Lions, or were they down by 4? I think they're up by 4 by the Detroit Lions going into halftime, and they come out in the second half and they totally shit the bed. That was the beginning of the end, and that's where they lost all of their respect. If they can come out this season in 2025 and dominate the AFC South, which they should, Colts are down, Titans are clearly down, Jaguars are rebuilding, but I don't expect them to be any good. If they can dominate the South, then they might gain a little bit of respect. But until then, slow it down, baby. Slow it